Alright, well, it's been an hour or so. I'm back. And it looks like the build that I kicked off worked. So I left at the right time. What the hell is my mouse? There you are. Figured I'd jump right back in. See, the upload to YouTube worked, so let's make all those videos public. I am up to episode 887. That is a lot of videos on YouTube. Alright, cool. Well, so our Windows No Editor build here. We've got 65 megs compared to, let's take a look at what our build is right now. So, okay, we added like 8 megs to our executable. That's not a problem. Let's put this up and see if it works. So this is all nativized assets for stuff. So we want to know if the things that we changed were around the scoring of the goals and assists. So let's go ahead and create a new game. Nativized assets, huh? Generic user has scored! Let's get our bots in here. Good job there, red guys. Whew. Donald has scored. Get wrecked, son. Alright, so we did get an assist at the end. Excellent. And Powell was the one who scored the final goal. So assists work. That's what we wanted to see. Alright, let's see if we go to the Cool Caverns map. So let's see, one of the things I got done was I also want to check that bot limits are working properly. So bots don't take up gameplay slots. Alright, we got Cool Caverns. Cool Caverns, the Redux, the Revenge. And let's also take a look at Cool Caverns. Looks like there's been a lot of good work. Ooh, what? Oh, wow. You can actually run into those stalactites. That is really gonna, like, does the ball run into him? Yeah, the ball runs into him. Look at that. I don't know how that's gonna work over the network. That's a little bit finicky. Like, I mean, yeah, I think that's gonna be a big fucking problem. I don't think that's gonna work at all. Because if these things get stuck, the ball's not gonna teleport. Uh, Alright, so how does everything else look? Oh wow, look at that goal. Let's see how scoring works. Alright, so scoring is... Oh, scoring's pretty easy. Alright, and that looks exactly like it should. Alright, so I want to also double check that our... What is this? Head of instance, crazy speeds and weird movement. Alright. That's not my problem. Not right now, it isn't. So what I want to do is... I want to make sure that our matches are being reported and that bots aren't taking up player slots. So I want to fill up a game and log in with it. So let's log in as ourself here. And let's go host a public game. And while we're doing that, let's boot up a second game. So let's see, we got my game, 1 out of 6. So let's add in 6 players. And let's try to join it. Pending connection failure, game is full. Okay, so that's not working. Looks like the player count here is working properly, but this the join is getting messed up somehow. because it's definitely reporting the right number. So anyway, let's close these guys. So it's going to be the game mode. What's the easiest way to test this? So let's see, the best way to test this. Kind of annoying to test network stuff with the game. Let's see, failure, pre-login, failure, game is full. Pre-login 450. So 450 is right here. Okay, so yeah, we just have the wrong player num here. I was like, it's got to be somewhere where we're not calling get player count. All right. I just want to see this thing build again, just to make sure it's actually doing what it should. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna call out the bot modes to add them, which are. Let me see. The bot modes I gotta get working are. Where is it? Where is it? Playlist config. So it. Come on. This thing is gonna boot up a fucking server. Stop it. Stop. Stop running, you bastard. So Adam was saying we're having. If we. V doesn't always go back on menus. Yeah, it looks like cancel isn't doing anything anymore. Alright. So we got some UI bugs. Let's see. UI bugs. B doesn't go back anymore. It's like the server browser score to win is always 3. Was that true? And history stats, player kick is labeled as player touch, which is wrong. Let me just take a look at that. So on production, he's saying the score to win is always being set to 3. I don't believe you. So I will verify. Score to win is 3. Oh no, it's wrong. Fuck. Alright, it should be easy enough to fix. Alright, so let's log back in here. So let's create our game. Shit, I need my phone. Alright, I should be able to join this. Alright, cool. So it totally works. And what that does is that frees us up for doing like the auto balance teams, because my biggest issue was balancing teams and making sure there's enough room for players. Alright, we got nativization, we've got that going on. Packing is working, caverns are added to packing, everything is doing what it should. Excellent. Okay, so we want some bot limits. So I'm actually just going to compile in a bot limit here for, I think it's in level utils. We got spawn bot. Thanks for being useless, Visual Studio. Okay, so what I want to do is I basically want to get the number of bots that exist. And I don't want there to be more than a certain number of them. So let's see. Level utils has get all brack and sack players, get opposing brack and sack players. I'm actually going to take the tack of the game mode here. Let's make a new level utils function. Let's just get a static int32 get bot player count. Let's just throw in here. So, we need to get the world. So that's going to be uWorld star world is going to be Dashkin game instance. Get world safe. If the world doesn't exist, return 0. Otherwise, okay, so get bot player count we'll do in here. So if get bot player count is greater than Dashkin game, Dashkin global utils max bots forever. We're just gonna return. Sorry, no bots. We'll also have an int32 get max bots. Actually, let's do one better. Let's actually do a boolean here for this guy. Let's have it return false. Why not return the actual actor? Like, we can return the actual actor itself, right? Proxy actor. Yeah, so we can return this A player proxy actor. So where is spawn bot? Right here. Alright, so we're gonna turn this to something like, I think 30 is a good number to have. Alright, that should do for that guy. So let's see. B doesn't go back in the menus. Let's kick off this build first. So, okay, why don't we look at the game mode. So we want the goals to win. Created, alright, we've got password, net version, match length, match wins. Score to win is this game info, score to win. Score to win's always getting reported as 3, I guess. I mean, it's supposed to be defaulting to 5. I'll have to see if I'm reporting it right. Alright, the other thing is the history stats is the wrong thing. So let's open up the history stats UI. So that's screens, history screen, mission history. No, this is stat history. So stats history. So stat history screen, what we're going to want is, we need the stat name here, right? Stat history thing, we got the player kicked. So player, yeah, here it is, player kicks. Alright, player kicks, yes, player kicks. Alright, so I think that works. The next thing is B doesn't work to go back. Why isn't that working anymore? I thought that was in the screens. It's probably when I removed the screen update for that stuff. So it's probably in scripts, screen manager, and it's like screen.update or whatever. Alright, so it's like use controller nav. Ah, here it is. It's this cancel triggered. Alright, so controller nav. Let's see where this is actually used. Controller nav. Find in files. Alright, so use controller nav is, let's see, screen setup. So I can just kind of take some of these things out then. Alright, so I think this should re-enable the B button for our go back. So cancel triggered in first frame. I think it'll work. So let's wait for this to finish. Come on, Mr. Editor. It's got to compile. It's got to compile all the things. Why? Why, sir? You've done this. Alright, so the next UI bug is the score to win on server browser is always 3. So what I want to do is, I first want to confirm that I unbroke the let's see, where is controller nav used anywhere else other than just set to false here? Yeah, okay, so we can remove that. The controller advance stuff, I think we can take out. We're not going to be using it anymore, so it's best just to remove it entirely. Okay. Oh yeah, the other thing I'd like to do is see if I can get a custom cursor on this thing. Today's kind of a grab bag of, it's not missions, it's like I'm trying to do everything else. Alright, so let's make sure that the B button takes us back to the things. Alright, awesome. So that was a real easy fix. So if we go to our stats for a specific user, let's go to Caracan stats and stat history. Ball touches, player touches is now player kicks. Yeah, that's good. That's fixed. So we want to go to the score to win. So we should go log in. And we're going to see what we're reporting. So if I go and create a game, let's go to advanced. Let's set our score to win to 5 and start a game. So let's go take a look at the database, and that'll tell us what our server is doing. What's this all angry about? Oh yeah. Let's see, our score to win, game info, score to win is set to 3. So we're just reporting the wrong value. Like, score to win is set to 3, even if it's not set to 3. So why is that? Like, this guy grabs our game info, like our basic game info is, uninitialized. Our game options here, our score to win is 5. Okay, so we need to use our game options information, not the, yeah, it needs to be opts. Score to win. Yeah, so that's going to be that guy. That's going to be fixed then. Oh my god, I wanted to cancel. Alright, so that'll fix that guy. So what's the next one? That's all 3 of those UI bugs, and we've added the bot limits. Let's make sure the bot limits are not going to blow up our blueprint. Because I think we got a for loop there. It's like, while bot number is less than a certain count, try to add more bots or some crap. So we need to make sure, I think it's inside the player controller, actually. So let's go to the player controller. So let's just search for spawn bot. So that's 1 bot. Where is our spawn bots command get called here, right? I think it's inside of blueprints. Yeah, and let's see here. Okay, so I believe it's... Is it the arena level? It's one of these guys. So let's search for spawn bot. Okay, so this is just going through, so like if it's busted, it'll be fine. It just goes through 10 times, so that's really not a problem. So it'll try to make as many as it needs to. Okay, so bot limits are in. So let's take a look at custom mouse cursor. So let me just Google this. Custom mouse cursor Unreal 4. How to change the mouse cursor texture. Let's take a look. Is there any way to change? You go to Edit, Project Settings, User Interface, Default Cursor, and set it to a widget. So all you have to do is make a user widget blueprint, put the cursor as an image all alone there. You can do it more complicated stuff you really want. Just remember, most users want a quick, responsive interface that's easy to see and understand. I've done the same thing. It's working fine on Unreal Engine, but when you launch in Samsung Gear VR, whatever, fucking Jesus Christ. Default mouse cursor. The default mouse cursor texture is currently pulled from the operating system. You can switch between a few different options in your player controller defaults in the mouse interface section. There are limited options depending on OS. If you want your own cursor, you need to draw one on screen. There's a pretty good tutorial here. No, I don't want to draw one on screen. So let's see, you can switch between a few in the player controller defaults in the mouse interface section. So if we go to our player controller mouse interface, let's see, default mouse cursor, interesting. Causes no cursor, default cursor. So what is this? So if we do nothing here, it looks like it's inside of project settings. If we go to engine user interface, all right, it's under cursors. So we can add a cursor here. So that's hardware cursor. We can add a software cursor. Okay, it has to. This looks different. This guy's posting. So I need a widget though. So let me just go into this guy. I'm gonna go to gameplay. I'm gonna make a new folder. I'm gonna call it UI. And I'm gonna add a new UMG widget. Let's see, user interface, widget blueprint. Let's just do UI mouse. Let's see what we can do with it. All right, what did this guy do? Place a canvas to hold a cursor area. Your cursor image goes inside the inner canvas. So this guy has a canvas panel with a canvas panel, and then he's got an image inside of that. Alright, so this image, let's just do that. This canvas panel, let's see. Let's see, anchors, alignment. Okay, and then this image. In the top left. Alignments 0.5, 0.5 on this guy. Don't forget to set the alignment from the canvas. What in the hell? Okay, so this guy has 100 for this thing in the middle, so that's what it makes it, and then it's centered in there. And then for this guy, he's got it at position, what, -6, -6, and then size is 50 by 50, and then alignment is, again, 0, 0. Alright, we can save this guy. And if we go to our project settings, we're supposed to be able to go to this user interface and I guess go to hardware cursors and maybe we can go to software cursors. Wait, okay. So cursor path, specify the partial game content path to the hardware cursor. Having a slate directory. Okay, so there's different things we can do. So this is like the default cursor stuff. Alright, let's try the software cursor first. Let's use the UI mouse and see what we can do with that. So let's take a look at what it does. You know, I don't see anything doing anything here. It might be that we need to launch in a new editor window. No, that's not doing anything. I am surprised that there is no good documentation on this. The tooltip is pretty confusing. Took me a while to figure this out. Just enter the exact name of the texture without path and extension. You should be good to go. You have to import the texture first, of course. Alright, so let's make a mouse cursor texture. Real quick. So how big is a mouse? Maybe like 32 by 32? It's a really shitty cursor. Yay! So let's go to our import directory. Let's see what we can do with this. Nerf Adam and nerf characters. Nerf everybody named not Jeff. Alright, so if we go to our settings, we want to go to our user interface. Specify the partial game content path. For example, slate default pointer. Like, it's really shitty. Without the path and extension. I mean, what, just cursor? I mean, it doesn't do anything and it doesn't tell me why. So, I mean, that's pretty stupid. Tooltip is pretty confusing. Took me a while to figure. Just enter the exact name of the texture without the path and extension, and you should be good to go. You just have to import the texture first, of course. It's total horseshit because it's not here. I mean, source file, like, there's obviously more to it than that. Do I need to restart the editor? Doesn't do jack shit. Like, that's just dumb. Like, this is... I don't understand. Like, obviously there's something missing with this, because it's... I mean, is it just that I don't have this formatted properly? You know, like, do I need to save it as a cursor? Maybe it needs to be 16 by 16? Let's just make it default. Default everything.